The International Olympic Committee wishes to thank the 5 bidding cities, Beijing, Berlin, Istanbul, Manchester, and Sydney, for their efforts in presenting the bids and also promoting the Olympic movement. We really regret that there is only one winner, and the winner is the winner is Sydney, Australia.
Oh, what a great moment. Well,
the mob down there will be
so well deserved, Ray.
out of courtesy of the Chinese, of course. I congratulate the Australians.
What a marvellous moment for our country. We have such a tradition in the Olympic arena, and to think that we're here tonight.
$27 million that we wondered about, in fact $60 million altogether to get it from one of the Australian cities in the last 3 bids, has finally paid off with this marvellous occasion.
Money extremely well spent. The Prime Minister is one of the there are 3 Prime Ministers here today, and he's the only one who is left with Mrs. Keating, and I think they've gone down now to join the Sydney contingent.
Yes, they've left the Royal Box. The Australians have done so much to make this possible.
Well, the feeling today was that it was the best presentation and that our chances were growing hour by hour. Marvellous scenes back home and here.
But you could never know, could you? That was the point about it. You could never quite know, of course, what was going to happen. This was the vote that they couldn't call. 875 days the Australians like Rod McGeoch have spent trying to get this thing up in $27 million.
And dare I say, I think it's also a victory for the International Olympic Committee as the Prime Minister, Mr. Keating, joins the group. And there's the reaction again.
Ah, yes, there's Rod McGeoch with his Aussie hat.
He's a Cobra hat.
And the New South Wales Premier, John Fahey, can't quite believe it, can they? They've got to try and restore some order here. It's not just the Australians who've gone mad, but I think it's a very popular decision, actually.
The official contract will be signed.
What they have to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is sign the contracts, basically signing $1 billion of Australian money, Bruce, for these games in the year 2000.
It's going to give us all so much to look forward to.
So much. This is a very historic day.
What a party there'll be back home.
And there's Neville Griner as well. In fact, was the Premier who launched this bid, has since retired from politics. But he has every right to feel very happy about this as well. Frank Sartor, of course, the Mayor of Sydney, comes up to sign it. And the Premier, I would believe. There's Graham Lovett, who has been in charge of the facilities preparations. He's put John Coates, there you go, John Coates.
So John Coates and Frank Sartor will come up and sign the contract, which officially says that Sydney takes responsibility for the games of the year 2000. It might be 7 years away, but I can feel it already, can't you?
You can indeed feel it already, can't you?
And look at the scenes in the street.
Well, we were told that they expected 10,000 or so in Manchester today, but we've got many more than that in Sydney, I think. A gift.
The man is absolutely fantastic. Look, the athlete running across the Sydney Opera House there.
Absolutely. What
this
about
is Sydney.
She couldn't be prouder. Look at them all.
And there's Monaco. We can see Premier John Fahey, and well, the whole of the Sydney bid team looks like they're on the stage at the moment.
Indeed.
Emotionally embracing Juan Antonio Samaranch, thanking him.
Someone on the stage is trying to say something, but have absolutely no show.
Look at this.
Wonderful. That's Sydney in the left-hand box there, going wide.
You can see, yes, you can see Monaco on the left there and Sydney, Australia on the right. That is amazing. Look at this. This is Sydney, Australia.
We'll have to get down to Sean Flannery when we can, because they must be going crazy down there.
There's Homebush. We can see, while we look at Monaco on the left there, Homebush on the right there of your screen, you can see. And there's Circular Quay with thousands of people. And ringing in the background, you can hear the horns of harbour ferries. There we are, Sydney signing the contract. Look, there goes the signature to tell us that we really do have it.
Absolutely. John Coates there, Rod McGeoch.
Will host the games in the year 2000.
There it is, look.
That will usher in a new millennium is Sydney, Australia. For those cities who did not win, as an Olympian, I would like to say that I wish you could all win. Stay in for the good fight. This was the most extraordinary bidding process in the history of the modern Olympics. Thank you for taking part. Goodbye, farewell, and au revoir. Dolores, Quadro, and me. Congratulations to Sydney.
Yes, and thank you to Monaco, indeed.
Oh, look at the fireworks. This is sensational. This is out of Homebush now. I think all the way up the harbour, all the way up Sydney Harbour tonight, there are fireworks.
Now, wherever you're watching in Sydney, go and wake up all your rallies. Bring them.
Bring the world, guys.
Shake them awake if they're in their beds, because they all should be awake.
Sydney Harbour Bridge on your right. Look at it. It's about to go up, as they say. It's fireworks everywhere.
Explode. Just wonderful.
Sorry?
Absolutely.
Here we are.
No.
Well, Australia, let me tell you, Annie and I have been to Olympic Games in Seoul, and you've got no idea what it's like for a city. In the year 2002, the new millennium, it's going to be just sensational.
Look at the Premier of New South Wales, John Fahey. Unbridled joy. This is sensational.
Well done, Rod McGeoch, too.
Yeah.
What a wonderful performance he's put in. Seeing the closing pictures there from Monaco and Monte Carlo.
Oh, look at them. That's absolutely feather feeling. They've travelled the world, these people, for the whole 12 months. I think Rod McGeoch's been at home in Sydney for no more than a couple of weeks, as far as I know, for the whole year. It's well worth it. You play hard to win, and then the rewards are there.
And John Coates, you just saw. Look at Graham. Not happy at all, is he?
Donald McDonald, the Australian Opera, in the background there.
Yeah, just marvellous. Absolutely right. Well, that's them. That's their closing pictures from the international side of things in Monte Carlo.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry, Tim.
Crying is what we have to do.
I'm all overcome, really.
Yes. There they are. There's the city of Sydney partying on.
All right.
As well they should. What are they singing?
Dance Australia Fair. Terrific.
Look at that.
Circular Quay. Check it out.
Now, I'm going to do a Bob Hawke to suggest to everybody that if you go to work today, you're absolutely crazy. We're going to have to, but if you stayed away today, I think everyone
Homebush
would blame
Bay,
you.
there they are on stage.
That's where the Olympic Games, most of it will be. The marvellous city there that they've built at Homebush Bay. The second stage will now go into production to build a marvellous 90,000-seat stadium that will house the opening and closing ceremonies, most of the athletics and a few other sports. That's Homebush. Let's go back to the quay, see what they're all doing.
Here we go.
Look at that.
This is spectacular. If the eyes of the world are on this, then how could they possibly resist us?
Quite.
It is the most spectacular.
All those fireworks you can see on your screen now coming from over the sails of the Sydney Opera House. There are the horns of all the cruise boats that are cruising around Circular Quay now. There is also a mobile fireworks display coming right down the Parramatta River from where Homebush Bay is. Let me just pause and bring you some of the sounds of the celebrations first. Extraordinary scenes here in Sydney. At 4:35 Eastern Standard Australian Time, the city comes alive with the news that the city has won the 2000 Games. Lizzie, I don't know what it's like over there, but here I couldn't begin to tell you the joy that has just broken out spontaneously with the announcement.
Steve, I don't know whether you can hear me or not, but I'm not sure where it's best to be. It sounds like Sydney has broken out, if you can put it like that.
Oh,
here in Monte Carlo.
I was just going to say, Liz, I don't know what it's like in Monte Carlo, but in Sydney, the partying has begun, believe me.
There is no doubt the partying has begun in Monte Carlo too, Steve. If you saw that look on John Fahey's face, unbelievable. The news was the best news he'd ever had.
I don't know about you, but when the cameras panned across the Australian delegation, the Sydney Bidding Committee, that little smile just before the announcement from John Coates, I thought, I think we've got it. I wasn't sure, but he looked fairly confident, didn't he?
He certainly